Hello again. So today I'm doing another slightly different kind of video that I don't usually do, and it's about embroidery. Here's a little embroidered canvas that I made. I did the little blue one with the bee on it, and I thought I'm gonna record me doing the little flower one. So that's what's gonna be on this green one. I've got the yellow one as well. I've actually finished making it, and I might do like a second part to this video because there was too much footage to fit it all into one video, so I might split it into two. But what I wanted to talk about was creative hobbies and why you should have more than one. And this is something I've really been thinking about recently because I did start getting back into doing embroidery, and crochet is another one that I do, but also wanting to expand into different things, so like graphics and patterns and just doing other things other than drawing. And I have written down just a few little ideas here of why you should have more than one, because honestly it's the best thing that's happened to my inspiration. I would say my creativity and inspiration has just got better from doing more creative things. Now obviously I would call myself like an artist, like I draw. That's all I've done for many years, and it's always what I've seen myself doing in the future. It's just I'm an artist, I draw, illustrator, along those lines. But if you're an artist in any field, you understand that art block is a problem that you face probably a lot, because sometimes it's hard to come up with original ideas and you just can't always do something. And I think it's in those times it's a really good idea to have another creative hobby, because you can leave, let's say, drawing aside, for a day, and if it's not working out, you can move and do something else. So you're still channeling that creativity, but in a different way, and that different way can even inspire you even more. Because you can be inspired by new methods and techniques. So I normally wouldn't draw like a flower, but when I do embroidery, I'm like, man, flowers are a really good thing. And then creating these things and these different techniques can cause you to create new ideas. Does that make sense? Doing new techniques and doing new things creates new ideas because you're thinking about a creative problem in a different way. You might come up with a really cool idea, and then every time you try and draw it, it doesn't work out right, but then you think, oh, what if I switch this up, and rather than drawing it, I painted it, or rather than painting it, I made it into a 3D sculpture. Thinking about it in a totally different physical sense can be a different way to portray that idea. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to happening. I've been really busy recently, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to create stuff. But it is nice to do different things. It gives you a break from drawing, because I draw a lot, I sketch a lot of the time, but sometimes you just kind of get bored of it, and it's okay to get bored of it. You just need a break, and in those breaks you can just do different things, and they can still be a way of channeling creativity and being inspired and just trying new things. I mean, at the end of the day, you're learning and developing more skills. That's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing to be more skilled in lots of different areas. I'm just looking at my to-do list again, trying to work out what else I was going to say. I wrote down, you can look at art in different ways, and I think that's quite an important thing. I think I touched on it briefly, but about how the same subject is going to look different in whatever medium you make it. It's going to tell a different story, it's going to have a different feel about it. A drawn flower is going to look different to a crocheted flower, or a sculpture of a flower, or taking a picture of a flower. Even photography is still another creative outlet, and it's always going to look different, and you can totally change the way that thing looks just by changing the materials. And sometimes that's all you need to create something new and original, is by taking it and putting it in a different material. But also, it helps you develop those skills that can help you back in what would be your original creative hobby that you do. So mine is obviously drawing. That is my area of like expertise in art. I draw. But my design skills and my composition skills and my colour skills are all things that very much need to be developed. But then by doing these other things, I'm learning about it. So another thing that I've started doing recently as well is creating graphic patterns, which I might share more of when I've actually completed one, because at the moment I haven't. But I never really create original things, and I never really think about composition that much, but making patterns really does make me create new things, and very simple things. So I'm just sketching very simple designs and then creating them into graphics, which in turn can then make patterns. I'm learning a lot of skills about design and composition, skills that can all be brought back into the way I draw normally. And there's so many transferable skills between all these different things, and that's why having more than one creative hobby is good, because it does teach you different things. And I think that's what's so cool and interesting about them, is that it can take you to loads of different places and to learn so many new things. I must admit, I'm running out of things to talk about now, so I might just start talking about this little embroidery since I'm almost finished it. So obviously I painted a canvas, and then I used the tracing paper to draw out my design and attach it to the canvas in order to draw the outline with like the thread obviously to trace around it. And then obviously you just have to rip the tracing paper off, which I'll admit I made a little mistake with this one, but you do need to take the tracing paper off before you start filling in areas, because it then becomes a nightmare to get the tracing paper off if you've already started covering areas up. But yeah, then I just used a couple of pinks to fill in the petals, and then you can't tell that well because the two shades of pink I used were very similar, but the bits closest to the centre were a dark pink, and then it got lighter out, and then I just filled the middle in yellow. Obviously these canvases are only 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres, so it's very small, and then obviously because it's a canvas you have the wooden border that it's stretched around. So really I only had 4 centimetres square in the middle of each canvas to create my design. So it's very small, and I don't have a whole lot of patience, which is why I do these things so small. But even so, I still ended up rushing some bits, and there are some bits that are a bit gappy and stuff, but it's all stuff that I can improve on when I make more. And I'm thinking of buying more, and maybe even just bigger canvases. Not too big obviously, because then I would never finish the project, but maybe slightly bigger ones where I could do slightly bigger designs, which I just think they look quite nice, especially as like a collection. I in total have done 3, and I think they all look quite nice together. Here's 2 of them now, obviously, but I did the last one after these. And a little hint as well, you can't tie knots in your thread because it's like hardly any space to even get the needle to wrap around. So I just used a hot glue gun and kind of just glued everything down. But what I didn't know until I'd finished it is that it also strengthens the canvas, because obviously when you're sewing onto the canvas it becomes loose and kind of flimsy, and like if you tap it would like bend in and be flexible. But yeah, the hot glue makes it super strong as well, which is nice. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the second part of this video when I guess I will talk about something else. Bye bye.